Hey guys, Malagant here. So, played a little bit more, right? Another stream session on Slormancer. I'm about like level 53 now and getting a little bit like better understanding on things. On the first video, it was about like after 5 hours of gameplay, and I talked about like my first impressions on the game. I really like it. It has an addicting combat, and looking forward to like what I can do with my character in the future. And I also said that like, don't be like me and level all of these things because like only one of them works. This is still true, but shout out to No Manual. Actually learned something more, let's say, and you can still level them for another purpose. On the top left over here, it says granted raw damage, investing Slurm in any upgrade or a passive, whether it is equipped or not, grants raw damage at the rate of 1 raw, 1000 Slurm invested. So let's demonstrate here, right? I have 7164 over here. This number is like my maximum end, let's say, on the whirlwind. So, and we have Vengeful Hurricane equipped, right? So I'm going to level these up. And then level this one up as well. I'm still going to equip the Vengeful Hurricane. And now I have 7311, as you can see. So we have gained about like 150 raw damage or something on the high end, which is not too bad at all, considering like you will be able to level literally every single thing. And this is not even over yet. This works for every single ability. Every single ability, even if it's slotted on your bards or not, they are going to be giving you raw damage to your character. So you need insane amounts of Slurm grinded to get the raw damage to your character. We'll talk about this raw damage, skill damage, elemental damage, and reaper damage. We'll talk about this in the later section of the video, actually. Like I'm not in like 100% control. I have a little bit of like confusion, especially like on the go when I see something new. But I think I'll be able to like help you out a little bit when it comes to like understanding what they are and what they're trying to do and what you want to do with your character when it comes to like right now kind of thing. What do you need to like scale your character? I'm gonna respec out of these because like I want to Slurm. So you get raw damage from this, right? Every single skill you kind of like need to max out, and therefore you want to like level them also, right? Because if you want to like unlock at least this last row on everything so that like you can invest into them for some raw damage for your character. The same thing goes unfortunately for this place as well. On the top left it says investing Slurm in any Ancestral legacy effect, whether it is equipped or not, grants you elemental damage at the rate of 1 elemental damage, 1.2k Slurm this time. So it's a little bit less, but still the same deal. It's less probably because there are more things to level up, as you can see. So we can demonstrate this one as well. There was a node over here that doesn't really like give any damage at all. There it is. Mana regeneration, as you can see. If I'm gonna like upgrade this, there you have it. Excuse me. I have more elemental damage on my character now. But which one do I need, right? Like, do I need elemental damage with my character? Do I need raw damage? Do I need skill damage? What are they trying to do? You can go to your inventory and then the second tab over here, and over here there's like a okayish explanation for the most part, right? Skill damage is like the main thing pretty much. Why do I say it's the main thing? Simply because like for me it is the main thing. When you go to this tab, to the skills, I am using Whirlwind, and that's kind of like my bread and butter on this character, and it says, as you can see, skill damage 32%, and it's going to be also gaining 2% extra for every level Whirlwind is going to be gaining. By the way, I don't really know until when it is going to continue leveling. It seems like it's just going to continue for now. We'll see. Maybe it's limitless there too, so you can continue grinding. That said, however, when you see that Whirlwind is saying just skill damage, it has nothing to do with elemental damage. I would like you to understand that. When something is capable of using elemental damage, it will specifically say elemental damage on its explanation, such as Arcane Beam over here, right? So there are two main damage types in this game. One of them is the skill damage, and the other one is the arcane damage. There are some like subtypes to this, especially skill damage. It is called the raw damage and the reaper damage. So what are those? Is the explanation over here in the inventory in the second tab. Skill damage is the sum of your raw damage and the reaper damage, and it represents the range of damage you can deal when dealing skill damage. So, well, that's kind of an obvious take, but the first sentence is the important one. So Reaper damage plus raw damage is equal to your, skill damage. Reaper damage is your weapon's damage in this game. So your weapon is bringing the flat values of Reaper damage, and then the raw damage is in other ARPGs basically the flat values that you gain from like armor, accessories, maybe buffs, perhaps some like exclusive passive upgrades might be. There are some raw damage upgrades over here as well. You can certainly search for them there. This search bar is extremely useful actually. This game has surprising quality of life actually. It's very, very surprising to me, especially with the filter. I'm very amazed, the loot filter. So let me try to like simplify it a little bit more, right? So your skill damage is your raw damage plus Reaper. Raw damage is coming from like your gear, your buffs, your passives. Sometimes even some of the skills are capable of giving a little bit more like, buffs to raw damage. But that is like the additive, flat values coming from like other places. And your weapon is representing your Reaper. But for my character at the very least, if you look at this, like my weapon is very underwhelming compared to the raw damage that my character gained so far. So if I can buff the raw damage even further with like some percentages, I'm going to be gaining substantial amount of DPS. Yeah, but obviously everything goes hand in hand. But for my character right now, unless I have some like elemental things that is going on, right? Like as I said, over here, Arcane Beam, or perhaps stuff like this that I'm gonna find along the way. There's some stuff over here as well, such as like the overcharge, for instance. It's going to be like, I think, imbuing or something, your weapon with like elemental damage. You can test this too, by the way. Look, 1 to 79 elemental damage imbuement on the first level to your weapon, right? 1 to 79. And we level something like this, and then come back to it. It's going to be 1 to 102. So as you can see, elemental damage is buffing that one. Before I close this video, I hope you will be understanding, you will be able to understand like what sort of damage you want, right now, immediately, as you're leveling your character. I'm really not talking about late game or like end game yet, because I'm not there yet. And at the same time, I suspect, since things are a little bit grindy and limitless, maybe there's a chance that like we're gonna need it all. You know what I mean? Like, why not, kind of a thing. You might want to just utilize literally everything available. Maybe. I'm not sure yet, but what I mean by it right now is that like right now my character scales so much better with skill damage, so I don't really need elemental damage so much, kind of a thing. And I hope this video was able to help you understand that for your character as well. One last thing before I close the video is that like the armor penetration and what does the armor trying to do, as you can see over here, is through complex arithmetics mitigates incoming skill damage. Okay, so if you are dealing skill damage like my character, armor pen is probably pretty good. You know what I mean? And I'm assuming like I have none right now, so I should try and get some. And on top of that, I'm assuming it is actually like having some sort of like a diminishing return as well. So it might be like very easy to get a little bit that has a big impact. But it would be kind of hard to get like, maxed out and completely ignore armor, kind of thing. Same goes for elemental penetration, and I'm guessing elemental resistance, even though they have like sub resistances over here, is probably going to be, mitigating only elemental damage, as you can see. And I have only 15% elemental damage reduction, so gotta work on that a little bit. And then there's elemental penetration as well. So if your character is only dealing elemental damage, you can completely ignore your armor penetration, and you can completely ignore most of the skill damage as well, depending on the ability that you use, and you can go for elemental penetration. So hopefully this video was a little bit useful when it comes to understanding like you're gonna need so much Slurm grinded, and at the same time the fact that like we're gonna need to like level all of these things up if we want like the raw damage coming for our skill damage. Yeah, that's it. I'll catch you next time. Thank you for watching, guys.